Why, hello there, guys. So this is a quick video on slope. So on your yellow sheet for slope, you should see this big box here with definition, and you're going to fill in this definition with me. So slope is how much the rate changes vertically and horizontally, guys, 2 dimensions. And it's also called the rate of change. This is another word for slope. You also learned that slope is rise divided by run, where you can count that on the graph, guys. So rising deals with up and down motion. Running deals with left and right motion, like y goes with rise and x goes with run. So we're going to actually go through and do a couple of these types of slopes. So the first one is positive. So we're going to count our rise divided by the run. So from that bottom point here, we're going up 2, we're rising positive 2. And from there, we count over 1, 2, 3 to the right to actually get us at this new point's location. So our slope is 2 divided by 3. So as you look between the 2 points there, guys, I am going down 1, which means the top part of my fraction for my rising is going down 1. It must be -1. And now let's check out the run. And it looks like we're going to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So overall, our slope is -1, down 1, divided by, to the right 5, which is +5 on the bottom. All right, now there's 2 other slopes that you got to watch out for, the 0 and undefined. So let's talk about why 0 is 0 and why is undefined undefined. So you'll notice that we don't move up or down any in between these 2 points. So that means we have 0 rise, but we are going in between the 2 points, going to the right 3. So our rise is 0 and our run is 3. If you guys type 0 divided by 3 into your calculators, you'll end up getting a slope of literally 0. And why that happens is because 0 divided by any number is always going to give you 0 back. Now, an easy way to remember that is this is the OK case, where 0 is in the top, our rise, divided by a number in the bottom, which we can say, okay. You actually get a number for your slope. That's why it's A-OK. All right, now let's take a look at undefined and why it is. So notice we actually go up 2 spaces on our grid between those 2 points that are shown, but we have no movement left or right. So that means our rise is 2 divided by our run of nothing, 0. Now, if I actually type this into my calculator, you guys end up getting an error message. It freaks out. And why is because when you divide by 0, guys, that is not mathematically possible. So this is what I call the no case, which means that this is literally going to be called undefined. And what undefined means in math is that I cannot mathematically get an answer for this. It's not possible. Now you can shorten that up and put undef if you want, or ud. I'll know what that means. So on your note sheet, we're going to continue here. Remember, this is the change in y divided by our changing in how x moves. We can also calculate this by using a formula or just counting on Desmos, guys. So here's how you'll do that with either one of those. So for the slope formula, you want to take y minus y, and those are coming from the points, the ordered pairs. Remember, the y's are the second part of the parenthesis, and the x's are from the first part of the parenthesis. So you will subtract between the y's first, divided by subtracting between the x's on the bottom. And actually calculate that. Put that into your calculator and give me those numbers or values. Now, if you go more of the graphical approach and you do slope from Desmos, from the visual, guys, remember that that's rise divided by run. And in order to do that from Desmos, you must zoom in and then count by ones. So we're actually going to do a couple of examples. So this first one, I give you 2 points. You can either find the slope by the formula or use the graph. Zoomed in so that you can count by ones only. So if you're using the formula, you'll take 3 minus 1, which is your y minus y. Now we'll by our x's, which is 4 minus negative 2. Now, if I type that into my calculator, 3 minus 1 literally is 2, and 4 minus a negative 2 becomes a positive 6. Now, you guys can leave that slope as 2 over 6, or you can also reduce that, but be careful. 2 goes into 2 once, and 2 goes into 6 3 times. So you can reduce that slope and get it down to 1 divided by 3. On the graphical approach, plotting those points on Desmos and then counting by ones, you see that we're rising 2 and running to the right 6. So our slope from the graph would be 2 divided by 6. And that looks really familiar, guys, from our formula, which we can also reduce down to 1 over 3 if we'd like. So either method is allowed. You choose which one speaks to you the most. So let's look at this slope formula and its graph. So either way here, we end up getting up 4 as our rise, but we're dividing by 0, no movement left or right. And remember, guys, if I get something like this is pretty bad because this is the no case. If I divide 4 by 0, so 4 divided by 0, this guy is what we call undefined. So our slope is undefined in this case. All right, last couple of examples using some tables. Now in tables, guys, you can choose any 2 x comma y's that you would like to use. So what I do is I literally pick it out of my table. Normally I'll pick the ones that are partnered. So that's my x and y pair, number 1, and then my x and y pair, number 2. So be careful when you run that slope formula. So either way we go here, guys, may it be the formula or may it be on the graph, you end up getting negative 7 over positive 5 as your slope. Or if I did the graphical approach and I went up 7 and I went left 5, that would give me positive 7 over negative 5, which is exactly the same slope because they're both negative. The 7's on top for my rise and the 5's on the bottom for my run. So those two are both acceptable. All right, so again with our points, here we go. So either way here, guys, from our table where we chose our x comma y as the first 2 points, as negative 3 comma negative 8 and negative 1 comma negative 8, we end up finding that we get 0 divided by 2, which is a-okay, meaning that our slope literally is 0. And if you don't believe me, take 0 divided by 2. And that should give you your reasoning. So here's a quick little reminder of what we went over. You can find slope using the formula, which a lot of you liked. Remember, it's y minus y divided by x minus x. Or if you want to go more the graphical approach, go with rise divide by run. Be careful if you're going down or going left. You must need a negative sign.